Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I was coaching Boy. He's a solo queue Diamond 4 player in arenas and is looking to improve to reach Masters. So we are talking about general knowledge to improve in ranked arenas, and I'm sure these 10 tips will be helpful to a lot of players, since every tip is something that every player should utilize and is often misunderstood. I hope this will be helpful to you. Next time I want to break down matches for my session. I would love to hear from you if that's something you would like to see. Also, if you find this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Alright, let's start. I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Good to hear. So, did you play with the tips I gave you?
I did, yes. Big improvements.
Yeah, big improvements?
Yeah, I was playing yesterday. I won like 10 games in a row solo queue.
Okay, let's go, man.
Yeah, I played some today. Won a bunch too. Got some new recordings to show you. But I think that just positioning in general. If you can give me any tips on positioning and when to push, when not to push, that would be really helpful.
Obviously, you should always push when you have big damage in. For example, you throw some sky nades and you get big damage. That's a sign to push. But of course, you need to let your team know that you're gonna push. If you are gonna do a solo push when you're solo queuing, they will never know. You know, they only see like cracked in the right top of the screen, and they see you running in. And usually it's already too late because it takes them like 5 seconds before they notice what is happening. You know, and then you're already fighting. So that's something to take into account. But you should always try to communicate it, even when you're soloing.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do more is communicate.
Yeah, or make like a ping, you know, from attacking. That ping works well. It's like better. It's like a queue. Maybe it usually happens that maybe your teammates are randos and they're just listening to music, and they don't even notice, or they have you muted, you know. So a ping could also work in that situation. But usually you kind of see quickly enough if people are listening to your comms. When you say something, you know, and you see them moving to you or something like that, and then you instantly know, okay, they're listening and I can use more comms. Otherwise you can ping.
I guess like this is something I don't know if you can help me with, but a lot of times too, I'll be watching like an angle. I'll be like holding an angle or like holding like a side of the map, and then I'll get shot from the side. Like my teammates are like watching. Or, like, they're not watching, but they're like on the right. So, like say I'm on the left, they're on the right, and I get shot from the right while I'm like hitting a battery or something. That gets me killed a lot, and so maybe sometime maybe I could I don't know, you can give me some tips on how to position myself better to not get shot.
Of course, you always need to have like a mental note of where everyone is. So if you know you're holding like left side, for example, like you say, and you are like focused on one player that's also playing left, you know, and you want to deal damage to that guy because you're both playing left. You still need to know where the other enemies are and what your teammates are doing. If you have like a good mental note of where the enemies are, you know you can get like out-angled and your teammates are not watching the angle good enough, and like that you can really avoid it. I saw it in your previous VODs too, that you sometimes kind of lack the awareness of everyone is, and you just like tunnel vision on one guy, and that's get you shot, and you get double teamed or you get double shot. You know, you're out-angled. So that's something to really take into account.
Yeah, I need to develop an awareness to where once I stop seeing, once someone goes out of vision, I kind of play a little less aggro and keep.
Exactly. It's mostly like you gotta keep your mind off focusing on one guy. Usually people want to deal big damage to one guy and just focus on that. I want to kill that guy, you know. But they tend to forget that there are still 2 other people left in the game. And those can shoot in the side. I think we already saw that in this match before, that you get out-angled a lot because you focus on one guy.
Yeah.
So that's really the biggest tip. Know where your enemies are, know where your teammates are, know how much HP your teammates are. Look if someone is cracked from the enemy team and make a calculated decision based off that. So it's like you need to have, especially when soloing, you need to take a lot of factors into account. So you can't tunnel vision at all. That will cost you.
I practice the wingman a lot, but I just don't really use it too much because sometimes it's inconsistent.
Yeah, that is a problem with the wingman. That's for most regular players. It is a really strong gun, but it's also a very inconsistent gun for most. But in arenas, it really is worth. You are a mouse and keyboard player. Once the Mozambique goes out of meta, the wingman will be the way to go probably for most MK players.
Okay.
Fight with the Turbo Havoc, because the wingman is just really strong. In arenas, you really want to have like burst weapons. You deal like a lot of burst damage because you play around cover a lot and you poke and you peek a lot. So if you can like dip in and out on cover, and like with the wingman you deal 45 damage and you instantly go back to cover, you know, and you barely can get shots. So if you trade that way with an AR, you will win if you hit. You will win every time if your aim is good. So it's a gun worth practicing for sure.
And I watched your video on Skynades, and that's really helped me out too.
Oh, great! Yeah. A lot of people can. It's like something you can really see from the angle how to throw them, and you can like ping it and look at the curve, you know, to really aim them precisely.
Yeah, I've been hitting a lot of Skynades recently.
Yeah. Oh, great! That's good to hear. I kind of wanted to say normally when both my teammates are holding right side, I tend to go left, you know, because we have extra angles to play with. But in this case, it definitely worked out. I would be the guy that would be playing bin, like the enemy would. Or like one of the boxes, you know, on the right side of the bin. Something like that to create an unexpected angle, because if they don't know, you can do like so much damage. You get an easy knock for that.
Yep, that's one thing that you mentioned is you gotta switch it up sometimes. Like,
yeah, you gotta switch it up. The biggest difference between like people who are new to arenas and the more experienced players is that more experienced players tends to take like the weird angles, you know, unexpected angles, and just really try to beam you from that, just to get a knock, you know. Instead of the newer players tend to poke a lot and just hold an angle and poke and just trying to out-damage the enemy. But at that point, you're kind of 50-50ing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you're just poking against each other, and the guy that is lucky enough to hit more shots, he will win. So if you can get like a sneaky angle and get an insta 150, and you can or disengage or engage your push, or you get a knock, and then the round is already won. You should play around cover more, too.
Where would you play, like on this box, like on these boxes over here more?
Yeah, something like that. At least if you stand a little bit more to the back, you can head glitch more, because you're exposing like 75% of your body at that point.
Bro.
That's the nice thing about cover, is that you can kind of play around it to break line of sight of one enemy, so you are only looking at one and the other guy can't shoot you.
Yeah, that's something I'm not very good at, but I've noticed like a lot of good players do is like if there's one guy further back and there's one guy closer up, you can shoot the guy in the back, and the guy closer to you can't see you if you head glitch, right?
Exactly. You can do it also with like vertical cover, you know, to zone out enemies. And that's really important, because if two people shooting at you, it's GG, you won't miss, or you won't win that gunfight. It's also something to recognize, of course. If you have a really good positioning, you should look at the enemy's positioning and see.
Yeah, if you have better position, you just hold the better position.
Yeah, you just hold them out. Exactly.
Yeah. That's something I try to do, and it's not always the easiest thing to do when you're solo queuing, because your teammates sometimes will just push with no damage. They'll just push, and then completely give away the better positioning.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a mistake a lot of people make, is that they don't recognize that they're in such a good spot, and if they just hold it, they win, you know? And just you see it a lot on drop-off too. And maybe you have noticed, like, you have full control over center of drop-off, you know? For example, you have a Maggie, the enemy team doesn't have a Maggie, so you just ball in and you take position, you know? Because you just faster in, they can push you. And the enemy team decides to play like the outside section, you know? They just rotate around from the start of the round. What a lot of people do then is just push into them. But why would you push in? What's the point? You can just hold there. You can just stay in center, wait for zone to close, and you kill them. Because based on positioning, they're forced to low ground. You've had glitch spots for days. You're just big chilling, but a lot of people just push in. I don't know why.
I think it's like a thing of like impatience, kind of. You know, it's like once you have them there, you just keep trying to engage them. You don't really even need to engage them.
Yeah, exactly. They just want to fight, or they think they will roll them, you know. I'm gonna kill them anyways, doesn't matter what the positioning is, but especially in ranked, you shouldn't play like that. You should always play to your maximum advantage.
Yeah, that's a good point. So what do you think the biggest takeaways from that are for me? Like, what should I focus on going forward?
I think we already discussed this. It's mostly your teammate's position and the enemy's position awareness. You should always be aware of what the teammates and what your teammates are doing. If they're fighting, if they're low. For example, the puff was knocked and you just decide to solo push someone. You know, that's a really, really bad play. And you can try to take more aggressive angles or unexpected angles to get more damage in.
Okay. Yeah, I took your advice from the last time. I stopped playing Wraith and I started playing Octane. And I played Octane and Maggie in these next few clips, in the next few videos. Played more aggressive as well. Initiated the push, initiated the angles.
Kind of the IGL of your team, for example, to say it like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I turned on my mic. I was talking to my teammates. Yeah, it was really working out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm curious to see them. I do want to mention that Horizon is extremely powerful on Habitat.
You think so? Why do you think so?
I told you before about taking aggressive angles, you know? Like taking unexpected angles, like going from the side and your team is just moving forward and you go left or right. And the beautiful thing about Horizon is that you can go through like a lake, you know, from the center of Habitat, and you can queue up from in a time they don't expect it. You can really beam someone with an R3 or an Havoc. And those are like the angles you want to take, you know? Because you can just queue up and you can one-clip someone, for example, and you win the round.
Okay.
But yeah, Octane is also a really nice legend to take angles, especially with the pot and with the jump pad. Because you can throw the jump pad like on the left where your team is walking, and you can like jump pad all over to far left side, and the enemy team is still walking in from, you know, where you're looking at right now, and you can beam them from the side, for example. It's all about creativity, you know?
Yeah. I like Octane because you can just basically get the meds immediately.
Yeah, that saves a lot because you can buy like a stronger gun and just don't buy batteries and just stim to the bin if they don't have mobility. Pathfinder is probably best for that because if you're a good buff, you're first every time to play. Because you can take like what you do with Octane is like taking the meds every time. He's really strong for that, but he's also extremely strong for off angles. And try to play some Horizon on Habitat too, because he's really, really strong there. And try to get some off angles, like from low ground, you know. Because if you have like even if zone pulls to like cave side or open field, you can walk to center and take like an angle from there with Horizon. And that is really, really strong, especially with like the Havoc in late rounds. You can really beam people.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk soon.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Thank you for your time.
All right. See you, man.
See ya.